Hello there! Welcome to Module 1 of PDOS Online. This module has 6 parts that will tackle everything you need to prepare before your departure. It would be handy if you prepare a pen and paper by your side, as this module will be heavy on information about the requirements that you must have to prepare and steps that are necessary to take before and upon your arrival to the United States. Secure your documents weeks before your departure to avoid inconveniences.
Airline ticket. Once you pay for your ticket, it will either be handed to you personally or sent through email as an electronic ticket. Read your ticket carefully as it contains your departure date and time, destination airport, date and time of arrival, and your flight number. You also need to check with your airline or travel agent if the Philippine travel tax had already been paid in the purchased ticket. Tickets purchased overseas or online, in most cases, do not include the Philippine travel tax. You can pay the travel tax at the travel tax counter at the NAIA Airport or at the Tourism Infrastructure Enterprise Zone Authority or TIEZA.
Immigrant visa. Your visa will allow you to enter the United States as a permanent resident. However, please note that this document does not guarantee entry, since the US Customs and Border Protection Officer has the final decision if you will be allowed to enter the United States.
Upon receipt of your immigrant visa package from the US Embassy, make sure to review all your biographical information in your visa, specifically your name, date of birth, gender, passport number, and photograph. Ensure that these are all correct. If you spot any error, you have to immediately contact the US Embassy through email for Manila replies at state.gov. You also need to check the validity and expiration of your visa. You must enter the US as a permanent resident before your immigrant visa and other documents expire. When you are admitted as a new immigrant in the US, the US Customs and Border Protection or CBP officer will stamp your passport with an admission stamp that indicates you have a permanent resident status. The stamp I-551 will serve as a temporary proof of permanent residency in the United States while waiting for the delivery of your green card to your registered address. It will be more convenient for you to receive your permanent resident card or a green card to re-enter the United States. Please note that your visa is only used as an entry document.
Immigrant visa packet. This is the sealed yellow envelope received from the courier, authorized by the US together with your immigrant visa. All documents that you or your petitioner submitted to the Department of State and National Visa Center are already inside the packet. Please read carefully the information and instructions of the cover letter stapled in your yellow packet. The visa packet must only be opened by the officer of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services at the port of entry. If you accidentally open the visa packet, please contact the US Embassy through their email. The immigrant visa packet and CD from St. Luke's Medical Center, together with your passport, should be hand-carried as you travel to the US.
CFO Immigrant Registration Sticker. This sticker is your proof of registration with the CFO. It contains your name, date of registration, country of destination, and immigrant number. It also has the authorized signatory and other security features such as the dry seal and the barcode. It is stamped on your passport and will be inspected by the authorities of the Bureau of Immigration at the port of exit on your departure for the US. The registration with CFO is one time only. You only need to come back to CFO for the revalidation of your registration in case you are issued another immigrant visa by the US Embassy because the previous one expired and you were not able to leave the country or your permanent resident status in the United States was revoked.
DSWD Travel Clearance. Minors traveling whom are not accompanied by either parent must secure a travel clearance from the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD. If you are to accompany to the United States a minor who is not related to you, you may be required to secure a travel clearance for them. Make sure that you have a written authorization from the child's parents that would allow you to accompany their child during their travel to the United States. You are advised to contact the DSWD about this requirement and know that the documents that must be submitted for this purpose before heading to the DSWD office. For more information, you may visit the DSWD website www.dswd.gov.ph. Clearance for government employees and elected or appointed public officials. If you are an employee, an elected official, or an appointed official of the Philippine government who recently retired or resigned or is on a leave of absence, you must secure either a clearance or a travel authority from your respective agency or appropriate authorities before leaving the country. This document will be presented to the authorities of the Bureau of Immigration as part of your exit clearance. Make sure to bring the original copy of this document or a certified true copy from your respective agency. Please note that photocopies, emails, or scanned copies may not be accepted. Secure this document prior to your departure to avoid inconvenience at the airport. For more information about this requirement, please visit the Philippine Bureau of Immigration website www.immigration.gov.ph.
The original set of these documents must be in your carry-on luggage. You are strongly advised to keep photocopies of them in your check-in luggage. Place these documents in an easily retrievable enclosure such as a plastic envelope, as you will be asked to present the documents at the checkpoints of airports in both the Philippines and the USA. We also advise you to prepare these documents as they may be required by institutions in the US when you apply for jobs, for Social Security benefits, or in entering a school. These documents will also be necessary for you and your family's settlement in the US. Some of these documents will also be explained in the Settlement and Employment module.
Before you depart for the United States, it is important to settle your responsibilities here in the Philippines. Remember to pay for the immigrant fee to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or the USCIS. All immigrants in general who received immigrant visa from the U.S. Department of State must pay the new USCIS immigrant fee of $220 before leaving the country.
If you fit the following criteria, you are exempted from paying the USCIS immigrant fee. The fee covers USCIS processing, filing, maintaining of immigrant visa packet, and production of permanent resident cards. Please take note that the USCIS immigrant fee is not included in the immigrant application fees charged by the Department of State. You have to settle this fee to avoid the delays in processing your green card. To pay the USCIS immigrant fee, you must log on to www.uscis.gov/file-online. Select Login, then select USCIS Immigrant Fee. Enter your alien registration number and DOS case ID that can be found at the top of your USCIS Immigrant Fee handout. Provide a valid credit card, debit card, or US bank checking information.
The fee can be paid by your relatives, family member, friend, lawyer, employer, or any representative. Please note that you will not receive your green card if you fail to pay the fee. Your green card will only be processed by the USCIS and delivered to your address in the US once the USCIS receives your payment.
A handout that contains your alien registration number, DOS case ID, and instructions on how to pay the USCIS immigrant fee online is also included in the visa package. For more information, please visit www.uscis.gov and read the USCIS Immigrant Fee Guide.
You need sufficient travel funds to support you and your family during the first few months of arrival in the US. You are allowed to bring any amount in dollar bills, traveler's checks not exceeding $10,000, as well as Philippine currency not exceeding 50,000 pesos. If you are to bring more than 50,000 pesos outside the Philippines, a prior written authorization is required in compliance to BSP Circular Number 922, dated September 2016, Series of 2016.
If you will bring foreign currency into the Philippines amounting to $10,000 or more, you are required to declare such amount using the BSP Foreign Currency Declaration Form or the BSP IOD Form number 1-02, which can be obtained from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas website, www.bsp.gov.ph, or Bureau of Customs counter at the airport. You must accomplish 3 copies of the BSP IOD Form number 1-02 since a copy will be submitted to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and Philippine Bureau of Customs. The other copy of BSP IOD Form number 1-02 will be given to you. Make sure to declare if you are bringing such amount to the proper authorities to avoid problems at the airport. In the US, transportation of currency or monetary instruments is legal. However, United States Code Section 5316, or reports on exporting and importing of monetary instruments, and Electronic Codes and Federal Regulations, Part 1010.340, or reports of transportation and currency or monetary instruments require any person transporting, about to transport, mail, or ship more than $10,000 into or outside the United States to declare such amount using the FinCEN 105 form or reports of international transportation of currency or monetary instruments with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection or CBP. Monetary instruments include U.S. or foreign coins currently in circulation, currency, traveler's checks in any form, money orders, and negotiable instruments or investment securities in bearer form. Please note that if you are traveling with your family, you cannot divide the monetary currency among the traveling family members together to avoid declaring the same. For example, if you and your wife are traveling together to the United States and you are bringing $6,000 while your wife has $7,000, in total, you and your wife have $13,000 in possession, which requires you to declare such amount to the authorities under the FinCEN 105. Failure to declare currencies and monetary instruments amounting to $10,000 may be subject to seizure and civil and/or criminal penalties. Remember, you are allowed to bring out of the Philippines any amount in dollars, traveler's checks not exceeding $10,000, as well as Philippine currency not exceeding 50,000 pesos. An amount exceeding 50,000 pesos taken outside the Philippines will require a written authorization. If you will bring foreign currency into and out of the Philippines amounting to $10,000 or more, you are required to declare such amount using the BSP Foreign Currency Declaration Form or the BSP IOD Form number 1-02. You must accomplish 3 copies of the BSP IOD Form number 1-02. 1 copy will be submitted to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, 1 to the Philippine Bureau of Customs, and the last will serve as your personal copy. Make sure to declare if you are bringing such amount to the proper authorities to avoid problems at the airport.
As a passenger, you are entitled to bring luggage to the United States for free. However, free luggage allowance will depend on your chosen airline. It is advised that you should consult with your airline representative or travel agent regarding their baggage allowance policy, since airline service providers have different guidelines for allowable weight and number of check-in and hand-carry luggage.
The luggage allowance is also indicated in your airline ticket. Make sure that you read your ticket and follow the exact luggage allowance to avoid penalties. Anything that exceeds the free luggage allowance in number, size, and/or weight will result in excess baggage fee. It is important to weigh your luggage and determine its size if it conforms with your airline service provider's regulations before heading to the airport. In general, Passengers are allowed to check in up to 2 pieces of luggage weighing not more than 50 pounds or 22.7 kilograms each luggage, while the carry-on bag should not weigh more than 7 kilograms or 15 pounds and should not go beyond 45 inches in dimension. To determine the dimension of your bag, you must add the length, width, and height of the bag. Bag sizers are also available at the airports to determine if your bag will fit on board. Once you are at the boarding gate, any items in excess of the carry-on baggage size or allowance requirement will be checked at your final destination and may be subject to applicable service charges. The Transportation Security Administration allows each traveler to carry on liquid, aerosols, and gels in containers of 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters or less inside a single quart clear sealable bag. Items like lotions, perfumes, moisturizers, toothpaste, mouthwash, hair gels, ointments, insect repellents in containers bigger than 100 milliliters may be included in your check-in bag. Make sure that liquids, aerosols, and gels that you are bringing to the United States are not toxic, corrosive, or flammable, whether in your carry-on or check-in bag. Metals with pointed or sharp edges, such as scissors and razor-type blades, are not allowed in your carry-on bag. When packing your things, avoid using black clothes or plastics, as screening officers at the airports here in the Philippines or in the United States may not clearly see the images inside your bags through the scanning machines. It may cause delays at the airport since screening officers may require you to personally open your bags for inspection. Also, try to avoid bringing items with aluminum foils since it may trigger the metal detectors and may cause the screening personnel to be alarmed. Make sure that all your bags are properly labeled or uniquely marked like ribbons so you can easily recognize your bags in the conveyor at the airports.
The Transportation Security Administration, or the TSA, is the agency responsible for screening all commercial airline passengers and baggage entering the United States. It is your responsibility as a traveler to be acquainted with the regulations of the TSA to avoid inconveniences while traveling. You may visit the TSA website and read their guidelines on baggage restrictions and items that are permitted and prohibited to be brought into the US. Here's a list of items that are restricted and prohibited in the US and the Philippines.
Be wary of bringing items for other people unless you personally know the content of such.
For more information about items that are restricted and prohibited here in the Philippines, you may contact the different authorities at the airport, such as the Philippine Bureau of Customs, Office for Transportation Security, Quarantine, and Department of Agriculture. On the day of your departure, it is important that you check all your documents and ensure that these are complete before leaving your residence. You may refer to your handbook for Filipinos migrating to the United States of America. Remember to put your travel documents on the carry-on bag since these will be inspected at any checkpoint at the airport in the Philippines and the United States. You should be at the airport at least 3 hours before departure time to give allowance for long queues and airport security measures. We suggest that you visit the official website of the airport or your airline to be familiarized with the layout of the airport and the procedures a few days before your flight.
1. Go through security and customs check. Prepare your passport and airline ticket since you will be asked to present these to the airport security before you are allowed entry. The ticket must be inserted on the first page of your respective passports if you are traveling with your family. If you paid for your flight online, Make sure that you have a printed copy of the e-ticket with you. Your luggage will be screened by the Office for Transportation Security or OTS before entering the departure lobby and check-in counter area. You will also be required to undergo initial screening of the OTS. Items such as your mobile phones, coins, keys on your pocket must be removed before going through the metal detectors at the first security screening. Items that are prohibited will be confiscated by the screening officers. 2. Pay your travel tax. After the first security check, you must proceed to the TIEZA or travel tax counter to pay the Philippine travel tax, if it is not included when you purchased your ticket. This is in compliance with the Presidential Decree No. 1183. The amount of travel tax you are required to pay depends on your ticket. If you are an economy or business class passenger, you should pay 1,620 pesos. While if you are on a first class trip, you should pay 2,700 pesos. If you have children below 2 years old traveling with you, they may avail travel tax exemption, while those who are 2 to 11 years old may still avail 50% reduced rate. Travel tax can also be paid through travel tax counter at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, airline office or travel agency, online travel tax payment system at www.tieza.gov.ph/online-travel-tax-payment-system. TIEZA office. TIEZA office is located at 6th and 7th floors, Tower 1 Double Dragon, Meridian Tower, Diosdado Macapagal Avenue, corner EDSA Extension, Pasay City. For inquiries, you may contact them through telephone number 257-8136 or 510-993 or through email address traveltax@tieza.com.ph. You can also pay travel tax through terminals at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. You must, however, give ample time for your transaction with the TIEZA on the day of your flight. Do not forget to get your official receipt since you will present it in the airline representative as you check in your bags at the counter. For more information about travel tax, you may visit the TIEZA website www.tieza.gov. 3. Proceed to your airline check-in counter. You may check with your airline if they offer online check-in. Some airlines also allow passengers to print their boarding passes. Check-in counters usually open 2 hours before the flight departure. Present your passport, airline ticket, and travel tax receipt. The airline representative will check your bag if it fits their requirements. You may be asked to put your bags on the weighing machine for this purpose. After checking your bags, you will be given your boarding pass, including your baggage claim stub. Make sure to read your boarding pass since it bears your name, including other important information such as your boarding time, boarding gate, flight number, and seat arrangement. Keep them together with the baggage claim stub, as you will present these when you board the plane and claim your bags upon your arrival to the United States. Request for a Philippine departure card at the check-in counter, as you will submit it to the Bureau of Immigration counter later. It is important that you have a pen on your carry-on bag ready for documents needed to be filled out. If you have connecting flights, please make sure that you have separate boarding passes for each flight and ask the airline representative about your luggage arrangements during your layover.
Number 4. Pay the terminal fee. The 550 peso MIAA passenger service charge or terminal fee, however, is already collected by the airline upon purchase of your ticket. Only passengers from other ports of exits are required to pay the terminal fee. Prepare the separate amount for the terminal fee aside from the travel tax. Consult the airport authorities about the exact amount of terminal fee you have to pay and prepare the exact amount to avoid delays.
5. Proceed to the immigration counter. Before lining up, prepare your Philippine departure card. Make sure that your departure card is duly accomplished before submitting to the immigration officer. Personal information such as your name, passport number, Place of issue and address in the US is needed in the departure card. Additional information needed, such as the flight or voyage number, may be seen in your ticket or boarding pass. Present your passport, visa, and CFO Immigrant registration sticker, including your Philippine departure card that is inserted on the first page of your passport, to the Bureau of Immigration officer. Other documents such as the travel clearance for minors and travel authority may be required by the Bureau of Immigration at the airport. Once all your documents are verified by the Bureau of Immigration officer, you'll receive a departure stamp on your passport. The Philippine departure card will then be collected by the Bureau of Immigration officer and your passport will be returned to you. 6. Go through final security check. Your carry-on bag must be submitted for inspection and X-ray screening in the final security check. You may be asked to remove your shoes, belt, and jacket. Your gadgets must be taken out of your bag for inspection. Put these in a plastic tray, including your mobile phone, keys, coins, and metal objects in your pocket before going through the security check. Do not wear too much metal accessories, such as your necklace, bracelet, or jewelries, since you may also be asked to take them off and submit them for inspection. Once you get through the final checkpoint, check your bags and your belongings before heading to the boarding area. Your airline service provider will also conduct a separate security check before boarding, aside from the regular screening conducted by the airport authorities. This is part of the enhanced security measure required and implemented by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. 7. Proceed to boarding area. Review your boarding pass for familiarization since it contains the following important information: your name, seat assignment, gate number, flight number, date and time of departure, and boarding time. Listen to the announcements carefully regarding changes in boarding time or boarding gate assignments. Boarding time usually starts 40 to 45 minutes before departure. Make sure to report to your boarding gate before your boarding time, as you may be offloaded by your airline service provider once the boarding gate is closed. You need to present your boarding pass and your passport to the airline personnel for verification purposes. Your boarding pass will be scanned and part of it will be collected by the boarding officer, while the other part will be given back to you. Once on board, read your boarding pass and check your seat assignment. Seats in the plane are arranged alphabetically and numerically. You may ask the airline crew on board for assistance if you cannot locate your seat. Make sure that you place your carry-on bag properly in the overhead cabin before taking a seat. Listen to the announcements and instructions given by the captain and the airline crew on board for the safety of your travel.
If you have a connecting flight, follow the directional signs at the airport to reach your boarding gate. Please note that you should receive a separate boarding pass each flight. Inquire with your airline if you need to proceed to the airline's transfer desk, and obtain a boarding pass before heading to your boarding area. Check the local time so you can report promptly at your boarding gate. Confirm with your airline if they will transfer your luggage automatically to the connecting flight. Make sure your luggage is not left in the transit terminal. Properly label your luggage. Indicate your final destination in your luggage tag.
Again, there are 7 steps to take at the Philippine airport. Go through security and customs check. Prepare your passport and airline ticket. You will go through initial screening by the OTS. Items such as your mobile phones, coins, keys in your pocket must be removed before going through the metal detectors at the first security screening. Items that are prohibited will be confiscated by the screening officers. Pay your travel tax. If the travel tax is not included upon purchase of the ticket, proceed to the travel tax counter or the TIEZA. Do not forget to get the official receipt since you will present it in the airline representative as you check in your bags at the counter. Proceed to your airline check-in counter. Check-in counters usually open 2 hours before the flight departure. Present your passport, airline ticket, and travel tax receipt. The airline representative will check your bag if it fits their requirements. After checking your bags, you will be given your boarding pass, including your baggage claims tab. Request for a Philippine departure card at the check-in counter as you will submit it to the Bureau of Immigration counter later. It is important that you have a pen on your carry-on bag ready for documents needed to be filled up. Pay the terminal fee. The terminal fee is different from the travel tax, so prepare separate amounts for both. Most airlines already have the terminal fee included in the price of your airline ticket. You shall only pay the terminal fee if you are a passenger from other port of exits. Proceed to immigration counter. Prepare your Philippine departure card. Present your passport, visa, and CFO immigrant registration sticker, including your Philippine departure card that is inserted on the first page of your passport to the Bureau of Immigration. Once documents have been verified, you will receive a departure stamp on your passport. Go through final security check. Your carry-on bag must be submitted for inspection and X-ray screening in the final security check. Your airline service provider will also conduct a separate security check before boarding, aside from the regular screening conducted by the airport authorities. This is part of the enhanced security measure required and implemented by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Proceed to boarding area. Review your boarding pass to make yourself more familiar with the details necessary for boarding. Boarding time usually starts 40 to 45 minutes before departure. Once on board, read your boarding pass and check your seat assignment. Seats in the plane are arranged alphabetically and chronologically. You may ask the airline crew on board for assistance if you cannot locate your seat. Make sure that you place your carry-on bag properly on the overhead cabin before taking a seat. Listen to announcements and instructions given by the captain and the airline crew on board for the safety of your travel.
There will be 2 checkpoints to go through upon entering the United States. First checkpoint, passport control. Prepare all your documents before alighting the plane. You are required to present these to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Officer. Your passport, immigrant visa packet, medical records, and the duly accomplished US CBP declaration card. It will be handed to you by the airline crew 2 hours before arrival at the port of entry. You have to declare on the said form the nature of items and goods that you are bringing in the U.S. Make sure that you declare and answer the form correctly and completely. You may read the instructions at the back before answering the declaration card. It must be inserted on the first page of your passport. Second checkpoint, customs check. Claim your baggage at the luggage area, then proceed to customs for inspection. Present your US CBP declaration card together with your passport. Make sure that you declare all items you are bringing in the US correctly to the customs officer. In some airports, you may be required to undergo additional screening, like the TSA full body scanner as part of security measures. At some point, the customs officer may also require you to open your luggage for further inspection. This is a normal procedure to protect and secure the border of the US. You may be required as well to pay duties for some items you are bringing to the United States. Once cleared at the second checkpoint, the officer will get your CBP declaration card and will return your passport. If you have connecting flights to another state or city in the US, make sure to check the local time so you can report promptly at your boarding gate. If you have questions or need assistance, do not hesitate to ask airport officers that are on duty. Information about transportation and transport services are also available at the airport's information desk. Upon reaching your destination, you may now exit the airport. You may inquire at the airport's information desk about the transport services available to reach your home. Congratulations! This ends Module 1 of your Pre-Departure Orientation Seminar, or PDOS. We hope you were able to take note of the important details you will be needing before your departure from the Philippines and once you arrive in the United States.
With you, I can't be sad with you. Just take my hand and fly up through the dreams where the skies are so clear. With you, I wanna stay with you. With you, I love the way that you love me today. Let's run up through the fields where the sun shines and heals. With you, I wanna stay with you. It's been so cold since you have been gone.